Let's now take a look at the summary of the budget for 2014.
According to the 2014 budget that was presented to Parliament today, the total revenue and grant stands at 1,469.5 billion rupees. The government estimates that it will earn 1,274.6 billion rupees as tax revenue and 162.8 billion rupees as non-tax revenue. The total government expenditure for the coming year stands at 1,985.6 billion rupees, out of which 1,328.3 billion rupees will be allocated for recurrent expenditure such as payment of salaries and interest. The government also envisages to spend a sum of 668.5 billion rupees in public investment in 2014. The budget deficit for 2014 stands at 516.1 billion rupees. According to the 2014 budget, the government aims at borrowing 235.5 billion rupees in foreign financing, while they also expect to obtain a further 280.6 billion rupees through domestic means. Government and opposition MPs expressed their views on the budget that was presented today.
United National Party parliamentarians were not present in the parliamentary chamber during the budget speech. However, a majority of the UNP MPs were present at the parliamentary complex.
After the budget speech was delivered, journalists posed questions to the opposition leader as he left the parliamentary complex.
A number of proposals have been included to strengthen the economy in various sectors, including the rural economy. The cost of living allowance has been increased by an additional 1,200 rupees. Thereby, the entire allowance will now stand at 7,800 rupees.
අද ඉදිරිපත් වුණු අයවැය මම හඳුන්වන්නේ ආශ්චර්යමත් පුස්වැඩිල්ලක් හැටියට.
This budget has not provided any sort of relief to the people of this country who are suffering.
රේණුවකවත් සහනයක් ලබා නොදුන්නු අයවැයක්.
The highest ever allocation, standing at 155 billion rupees since 1948, has been allocated to the Ministry of Health. These funds will be utilized to uplift the health sector. It is clearly evident how the government intends to earn back the 15,800 million rupees that was spent for Chogam. The budget was presented without a vision. If salary more than 10,000 is not granted, one cannot deem this as a budget. While you put 1 rupee in one pocket, the government takes away the remaining 99 rupees from the other pocket. No government can increase salaries by 10,000 or 15,000 rupees. These demands cannot be fulfilled. Such slogans cannot be used to field people onto the streets. However, this budget has strengthened the rural community and the state sector employees. Opposition MPs were not notified regarding the content of the budget. There is nothing to say. We see this as a useless budget. Our objective is to create a society where 75% of the population are computer literate by 2016. Tax concessions and the required financial allocations are inclusive in this budget. The opposition has a responsibility to know what this budget is. They need to listen to it and inform us about the pros and cons. However, they do not do this. Today, the United National Party does not even know how to solve the issues within their own party. However, we see that there is a strong program to strengthen the economy of this country.
The people expected and what the government gave the people are two completely different things. The people expected relief for their increasing cost of living, but what the government gave them was increased taxes. While the government increased the cost of living allowance by 1,200 rupees a month, they increased food tax by 13 billion rupees.
The budget has taken into account a simple family unit, the society, the small-scale businessman, as well as a tax situation that affects the big businesses as well. This budget can strengthen all those sectors.
හැම අතින්ම දිරිමත් කරන්න පුළුවන් ඊටාම යහපත් අයවක් හැටියට මේ අයව මම දකිනවා. විශේෂයෙන්ම ගොවි ජනතාවට ඒ වගේම සමෘද්ධි.
In this budget, some taxes have been removed to uplift and change the lives of the farming community. The Samurdhi beneficiaries and those in the Divinagam program, bank loans have been facilitated for these people. Measures have also been taken to provide interest-free loans for women to engage in their respective industries. This is a budget that provides a lot of facilities to the people. The income of the government has been directed to certain important projects. However, I should mention that this budget has not provided a solution to issues surrounding the cost of living. We need to focus on import and exports that are integral part of the economy. I can only provide an answer after studying this budget.
There are short-term benefits to the people as long as long-term benefit that will accrue as a result of implementing the policies laid down in the budget speech, especially the farmers, then the small and medium entrepreneurs, as well as the public servants are the beneficiaries of this budget speech.
Now, following the budget speech, parliamentarians attended the traditional tea party hosted at the parliamentary complex.
The tea party was held at the cafeteria and was attended by ministers, MPs, diplomats and the secretaries to ministries.
And up next is a look at the newspaper cartoon of the day.
On Words of Wisdom today, we take a look at the thoughts of the father of the Indian independence movement, Mahatma Gandhi, on progress.
Honest disagreement is often a good sign of progress. Mahatma Gandhi.
Budget Forum 2014, hosted by NewsFirst and KPMG, took place at the Stein Studios in Ratmalana this evening.
Let's now take a look at some excerpts from the discussion.
I think His Excellency this afternoon said, I think now 47 of the 52 public enterprises are now profitable. A number of them have been turned around. I think the ministry concerned and COPE have played a very important role. That may open up the possibility for a small share of the equity of a few commercial enterprises to be listed, because it does a couple of things. One is the underutilized stock exchange gets some greater number of companies listed, and two, the disclosure requirements, the compliance requirements, the corporate governance standards, etc., that come with listing will take these enterprises to another level as well. It doesn't have to be very much. It can be just 10-15%. It also gets revenue for the government.
You know, there is some movement in that regard even today, where there are companies which are hoping to have private equity firms set up so that they could hold the hands of these possible contenders to move into the stock market, which is very important, and I think that is happening. Perhaps next year some element of support for those by way of tax incentives could be considered, I believe. The third point is we know that Sri Lanka is moving towards a $100 billion economy. So we are looking at a $60 billion market cap in our stock exchange around the 2016-2017 year. We are still at 20 billion. And how can we go forward? One is to have new listings. One is to see that the existing companies grow. And the third is to see that there are companies which are presently contenders to come into the market are encouraged to come in. So I think these provisions that have been set out today reflect some thinking on those lines, and those need to be welcomed.
A public meeting organized by the Democratic Party took place in Ganemulla yesterday.
Co-organizer of the Democratic Party for Gampaha Subhash Bopitiya and organizer for Gampaha Asoka Jayakodi had arranged this public meeting. This country has not seen any form of development in the past 65 years. No matter what the rulers boast about, the economy has collapsed. The quality of life is degenerating. The health sector has declined. The education system is gradually becoming weaker. At present, obtaining an education in the country is like a deadly battle. Therefore, normal life in the country is unsuccessful. We have turned into a nation that struggles to make ends meet every day. Over 95% of the people are depressed. Despite saying Mataratita over the past 7 years, 2,000 taverns were opened. Over 2,000 temples were closed down as these temples could not be maintained without the necessary funds. 2,000 schools were shut down. An onion which was 6 rupees during the time of the war is now 26 rupees. A kilogram of sprats is 800 rupees. Keep this in mind, friends. The budget will be presented. The expenditure is 1,542 billion rupees. How is the government going to cover this expenditure? Loans are being taken. At present, every single person is in debt to the tune of 308,000 rupees. How will the remaining 442 billion rupees be recovered? There is only one way. That is by imposing direct and indirect taxes and levies. There is no other way for the government to recover such an exorbitant amount. The government cannot cover the expenditure by setting up casinos. The casinos are for them to fill their own pockets. People feel bitter when they hear about the budget. The people do not have any faith in this budget that will be presented to Parliament, which only deceives the people and does nothing. The people already know what to expect tomorrow.
www.newsfirst.lk was relaunched today with a fresh layout and approach to news on the World Wide Web.
The news website began on the 10th of October 2007 as Italia.lk, and it eventually morphed into a trilingual news website which is now known as newsfirst.lk. Newsfirst.lk, which endeavors to bring you the latest news first and fast, is one of the leading video-based news websites. Newsfirst.lk is your one-stop for the latest local, international, sports, tech and lifestyle news. The website is backed by the full strength of News First, which boasts of over 300 journalists, over 1,000 provincial correspondents, 10 international bureaus, and over 15,000 new reporters. News First, which is always in a lead when it comes to cutting-edge technology in the media field, will continue to keep you ahead of the pack through www.newsfirst.lk.